I should have been in bed hours ago, and the $3 I spent could have been better used buying ramen noodles. The odds were greatly against me, and when I would awaken tomorrow I'd probably be no better than the years before, only restless on the way to work, which was over an hour away by foot. $3 was a king's ransom for an hourly employee like me, who was a disposable laborer who could be replaced by the next person in line once his body could no longer stand up to the physical torture of the day-to-day operations. But $3 represented hope, and staying up late represented optimism, because I just might win the multi-state lottery, which had been in the news and on everyone's lips, because it had swelled to over $100 million to a single winner. So I thought, why not me? There I sat, pen in hand, dictating the numbers as they were drawn. Rearranged, they read 9, 13, 29, 37, 44, with the big money ball 21. I looked at my ticket and the numbers drawn, and after a few double takes I realized I was holding all the money in the world. I went to sleep after signing the ticket, and 6 hours later when the alarm went off I went to work like nothing had changed. I continued to do so for weeks, and kept quiet when everyone wondered aloud who the winner was, especially because they were from our state. Then, one day after work, just shy of the 180-day claim date, I took a taxi to lottery headquarters. I asked the taxi driver to take me to a business within walking distance. That way the only one who would know where I was actually going was me. There were camera crews outside waiting to get the first photo of the $100 million man. I had to tell them I was there for a job interview. Upon entering lottery headquarters, I had to walk through a metal detector and submit to a wand. In the winner's office, the clerk asked me to submit my ticket and claim form. She looked at both, then me, and with a big smile on her face she ran out of the room. I sat quiet and alone for a minute, then the room filled with all these people, cheering and holding balloons. Among the applause I received many hugs, handshakes, and heartfelt congratulations. The president of the state lottery told me that usually it takes a couple weeks to get the collective state winnings together, but since I had waited so long they were already available and I could walk out with a check today. I requested my winnings be electronically transferred to my checking account at Flint Union Bank. Then I met the press and the world met me for the first time. In a way, the numbers chose me, I told the press when they asked how I selected my numbers, as they were electronically picked. When asked what I was going to do with the money, I said, I'm going to retire. They laughed, but I meant it, and when the press conference was over, I took a taxi home. I unplugged my phone and set my alarm, then went to work after a night of sleep. The recognition was instantaneous as motorists beeped their horns at me on the walk to work, and my employers were shocked that I even showed up. These were dark times for the national economy, and before I began my shift, I requested to talk with my employers. I said, I'm giving my 2-week notice. People are cutting back, and there's someone out there who needs this job. They understood, and for my final 2 weeks, I worked for 12 days off the clock. On my last day, I ordered pizzas and sodas. Then, after paying while everyone ate, I made my exit for the last time. My lease was nearly up, and the Dear Lottery Winner wish list I received in the mail added to the fact that I was moving. Where I would spend the rest of my life would not be with the super rich, nor would I go somewhere just to be the richest in town. I found an estate online for sale with large grounds and private walls set among the countryside. So it was the next day I took a bus upstate, out of state, and to the Commonwealth to buy my home. I didn't even negotiate. I paid cash at full asking price. Right away I started spending money, first on property taxes, which were, surprise, delinquent. $15,000 per year for the rest of my life, which the previous owner neglected to pay, came to $30,000 this year alone. There was economic uncertainty cast over the nation, but the local economy was thriving as I spent to furnish my estate. In no time, and thousands of dollars later, my once big empty house was filled. In the months to come, I slept good, ate well, and turned to one of my 500 other channels when the local news reported on the economy. If I hadn't ignored it so long, I would have realized it was my problem too. One afternoon, I received a phone call requesting my presence at the local Flint Union Bank. We set up a meeting, and the next day I went down there. Before I walked in, I noticed they changed the sign, which was different. The bank president walked up to me slowly and requested we talk in his office. We were joined by another man as we sat down to talk who turned out to be plainclothes security. The bank president told me, "Flint Union Bank has failed and the FDIC has had to step in. What that means is my remaining $47 million is now only $250,000, I said. He swallowed hard and confirmed what I knew. When I stood up, the plainclothes security stood up immediately and made idle threats to me if I did anything. All the bank president could say was, "Sorry for your loss." I vowed to get all my money back in the courts as I stormed out. Countless consultations, and every lawyer told me I would lose my case. So I went back to the big house I could no longer afford to live in 10 years from now, where I made the decision to rejoin the workforce. With jobs evaporating and scarce, every job interview ended with, "We'll let you know," and "Sorry for your loss." I never heard back from them, but I was fortunate to have enough money to ride out this crisis, and 10 years was enough time to retrain for skills that lead to a career. But on this night, as I walked around my home, I stopped to stare out the window. I was truly grateful for all that I had. That night, I ordered Chinese food. After the meal, I opened my fortune cookie only to discover the paper was blank. I knew then where written was nothing. It was up to me to make something of my fortune, my future, and my life.